furiously away. His face was on fire, and blood trickled from his nose, but there was nothing he could do. The steward had 4 soldiers to help him, and a dozen more within earshot. The handful of villains who lurked by the stables were too frightened to protest, let alone to interfere. They were creatures of the lord of the manor, and he had taught them their place. Another lesson was now about to be handed out.
"Where is the rogue?" "Here, my lord."
"That miserable bundle of rags?"
"His name is Algar."
"I can smell his stink from here."
"He refuses to work."
"He has no right to refuse." Guy FitzCorbucion was striding arrogantly towards them from the house. At his side, with a quieter tread and a more composed manner, was his younger brother Jocelyn. They were the heirs of Blackwater, the sons of the mighty Hamo FitzCorbucion, a Norman knight who had fought with such ferocity and distinction at Hastings that he had been rewarded with substantial holdings in Essex as well as in other counties. Hamo lived in Maldon and held his honourial court there. When his father was absent, Hamo had returned on business to his native Coutances, Guy was in charge of the estate. It was a role that he relished. He confronted the miscreant with derisive contempt. "Look at this pile of ordure," he sneered. "The cur cannot even hold himself like a proper man." "The fellow is ill," noted Jocelyn with a distant sympathy. "He has the ague upon him." "No," said Guy. "He is trembling with fear, and so he should. I have important concerns here at Blackwater. I do not like to be troubled by a lazy, good-for-nothing slave."
"I am not lazy, my lord,"
croaked Algar.
"Be quiet,"
yelled Guy.
"Fever has made me weak and—"
"Silence!" The command was accompanied by a kick in the stomach, which made the Saxon double up in pain. Wyston's anger stirred, but he stood rooted to the spot. He and his father were the lowest of the low, mere slaves on the estate of a Norman lord, tied to an existence of unceasing and unvarying toil. They had no freedom, no hope, no right to reply. Hamo FitzCorbucion owned them. His sons could treat them like the beasts of the field that they were. Algar mastered his distress and pulled himself upright. He wanted at least to offer a token show of defiance in front of his son, but his strength failed him. Worn out by work on the land, Algar had now been wasted by fever. He was barely 40, yet he looked like a decrepit old man. He managed to throw a glance of hatred at Guy FitzCorbucion. The young man exemplified the family name. Corbucion, the Raven, a harbinger of death. Guy had the same jet-black hair, yellow eyes, and beak-like nose as his father. His voice was the same insistent caw. He fed on carrion like Algar. Guy flashed a look of disapproval at the steward. "Why do you bother us with this offal?" he said.
"I warned him, my lord."
"You should have beaten him soundly."
"Why, so I did," said the steward, "and the marks are clear upon him. But still he would not give service. I told him that he would be brought before you. He ignored me."
"Vile wretch!"
"He feigned illness."
"Saxon cunning."
"He will not work."
"Wait till I have finished with him," said Guy darkly.
"The insolent dog will beg me to let him work."
He turned back to Algar with a malevolent smile. The slave shuddered. He knew what to expect. Norman overlords were a law unto themselves. They dispensed summary justice on their estates. Guy FitzCorbucion was typical of the breed and symbolised the hideous changes that had afflicted the county. When the manor had belonged to Earl Derwolf, there were freemen and smallholders in abundance.